The average American household is sitting on over $9,000 in credit card debt right now. The personal savings rate just dropped to 3.6%, and 59% of Americans cannot cover a $1,000 emergency without borrowing. Meanwhile, Japan has the lowest credit card delinquency rate of any developed nation. Japanese households hold over 2 quadrillion yen in financial assets, and the culture treats debt the way most Americans treat expired milk. You just do not keep it around. So here's my question. Are Japanese people just naturally better with money? Or do they have habits baked into their daily lives that make saving almost automatic? I have lived in both worlds. My name is Kay. I grew up between Japan and America, and I have watched my Japanese relatives build quiet financial security through habits so boring they would never make a TikTok trend. No flashy investment strategies, no crypto moonshots, just 12 deeply unglamorous daily habits that keep more money in your pocket without feeling like punishment. Let me walk you through them. Number 1. Uchishoku. In Japanese, Uchishoku literally means eating inside, at home. Not at a restaurant, not from a delivery app, not from that overpriced salad bar near your office where a bowl of lettuce somehow costs $14. The average American spends over $3,800 per year eating out. That is not fine dining. That is Tuesday lunches and Friday takeout and the occasional, I do not feel like cooking, DoorDash order that somehow hits $47 with fees and tip. In Japan, eating at home is the default. Eating out is the exception. My grandmother used to pack rice, pickled vegetables, and grilled fish into these tiny compartmentalized boxes every single morning. Not because she was on some extreme savings plan, that was just breakfast and lunch. Done. No decision fatigue, no swiping a card at some checkout counter. And here is where it gets interesting from a money perspective. Smart Sam packs meals 4 days a week. Nothing fancy. Rice, protein, whatever vegetables are on sale. Total weekly cost for lunch, maybe $20. Broke Brian grabs something near the office every day. $12 here, $15 there. By Friday, he has spent $65 on lunches he cannot even remember. Over a year, that gap is over $2,000. And that is just lunch. My aunt in Nagoya takes this a step further. Every Sunday evening, she spends about 90 minutes prepping ingredients for the entire week. Rice, salmon, blanched vegetables, everything portioned into containers. Monday through Friday, her family grabs a container in the morning and walks out the door. No morning stress, no last-minute decisions. The Japanese word for this habit is not some ancient philosophical concept. It is literally just the word for eating at home. That is how normal it is. You do not need a budgeting app to save money on food, you need a rice cooker and about 12 minutes. Number 2. Hyaku and Shoppu. If you have ever been to Japan, you have been inside a Daiso, a Seria, or a Can-Do. These are 100 yen stores and they are everywhere. Think of them as the Japanese equivalent of a dollar store, except the quality is actually decent and nobody is embarrassed to shop there. In America, shopping at a dollar store carries a stigma. People whisper about it. In Japan, business executives in suits walk into Daiso on their lunch break and buy office supplies without a second thought. There is no shame attached to finding a good deal. The shame would be in overpaying for the same product just because it came in fancier packaging. Smart Sam buys kitchen utensils, storage containers, cleaning supplies, and stationery from the 100 yen store. Broke Brian buys the same items from a premium home goods store because the branding looks nicer on Instagram. The spatula does not care about your aesthetic. It flips eggs either way. Now, this is not about buying cheap junk that breaks in a week. Japanese 100 yen stores stock surprisingly useful items because the competition between Daiso, Seria, and Can-Do keeps quality high. If one store sold garbage, customers would walk next door. The market sorts it out. The principle here is simple. Before you buy anything for the house, ask yourself whether a 100 yen version exists. For cleaning supplies, kitchen basics, travel accessories, and stationery, the answer is almost always yes. Number 3. My Botoru. My Botoru. My bottle. It is exactly what it sounds like. You carry your own drink everywhere. Walk through any Japanese train station in the morning, and you will see thousands of commuters carrying thermoses. Stainless steel, keeps hot drinks hot for 8 hours, cold drinks cold for 12. You fill it at home and you are set for the day. The average American spends between $4 and $7 per day on coffee and beverages. Let us call it $5. That is $35 a week, roughly $1,800 a year. On liquid, that you drink in 9 minutes and forget about. My father has carried the same Zojirushi thermos for I think 6 years now. He fills it with green tea every morning. Cost per day, basically zero. When I used to buy an iced latte every morning in my 20s, I was spending north of $2,000 a year on a habit I could have replaced with a $60 thermos and a bag of coffee grounds. Broke Brian walks past 3 coffee shops between his apartment and his office, and stops at one every single time. Not because he is addicted, because it is a routine that nobody ever taught him to question. Smart Sam fills a thermos at home, drinks the same quality coffee, and redirects that $1,800 a year into an index fund, earning 7%. In 10 years, that thermos habit alone is worth over $25,000. A thermos. $25,000. Math is brutal when you actually run the numbers. Number 4. Otsutomehin. This is one of my favorite Japanese savings habits, and almost nobody outside of Japan talks about it. Otsutomehin are discounted items in Japanese supermarkets. Every evening, usually around 6 or 7, grocery stores start slapping discount stickers on food approaching its sell-by date. 20% off, 30% off, sometimes half price. The meat section, the sushi section, the prepared meal section, all marked down. And here's the thing, there is no stigma. Families time their grocery runs to hit the discount window. College students, retirees, salarymen in suits. Everyone does it. In fact, at some stores, there is a visible crowd that forms around the prepared food section at exactly 6:30 because that is when the stickers start appearing. In America, buying marked down food feels like a confession. In Japan, it feels like winning. Smart Sam checks the supermarket app, knows which stores discount at which times, and plans the weekly meal prep around what is available at 30 to 50% off. Broke Brian walks into the grocery store at random, grabs whatever looks good at full price, and then throws away a third of it before the week ends. The average American household wastes over $1,600 in food every year. Not because they cannot cook, because they buy without a plan and forget what is sitting in the fridge. Timing your grocery runs alone can save you $300 to $500 a year without changing what you eat. My cousin in Saitama has actually mapped out the discount schedules of 3 supermarkets within walking distance of her apartment and rotates between them depending on the day. She saves roughly 40,000 yen a month on groceries. That is about $270. Every month, just by showing up at a slightly different time. Number 5. Sakidori Choken. Sakidori Choken means taking your savings first. Before you spend a single yen on anything else, the money you are saving gets pulled out and sent somewhere you cannot easily touch it. In Japan, many companies offer choken or savings programs where a portion of your paycheck is automatically deducted before you ever see it. It goes straight into a savings account. Some companies even match a small percentage. You never see that money hit your checking account, so your brain never factors it into what you have available to spend. This is not a new idea. American personal finance writers talk about paying yourself first all the time. But the difference is that in Japan, it is structurally built into the payroll system at many companies. It is not something you have to set up yourself, remember to do, or rely on willpower to maintain. The system does it for you. Smart Sam sets up an automatic transfer of 15% of every paycheck into a separate savings account. The transfer happens the day the money lands. He never sees it. He never misses it. Broke Brian plans to save whatever is left at the end of the month. Spoiler, nothing is ever left at the end of the month. There is always another subscription, another just this once dinner, another thing that felt necessary at the time, but was not. The behavioral science behind this is clear. When saving requires action, we skip it. When spending requires action, we pause. Sakidori Choken flips the default. Spending becomes what requires effort, not saving. I started doing this in my mid-20s after watching my uncle manage money. He never made a huge salary, middle management at a manufacturing company in Osaka. But every single paycheck, 20% disappeared into savings before he even opened his banking app. By the time he retired, he had more money saved than colleagues who earned twice his salary. The secret was not income. The secret was sequencing. Save first, spend second, and never reverse the order. If you do nothing else from this list, do this one. Set up an automatic transfer the day your paycheck hits. Even 10%, even 5%. Just make it automatic. Your future self will thank you in ways your present self cannot even imagine. Number 6. Nikoniko Genkin. Japan is one of the most technologically advanced countries on the planet. They have bullet trains, robot hotels, and vending machines that sell everything from hot coffee to fresh eggs. And yet, cash is still king. Nikoniko Genkin roughly translates to cash with a smile, and it reflects a deep cultural preference for paying with physical money. Despite having access to digital payment systems, contactless cards, and every fintech app imaginable, a huge portion of daily transactions in Japan still happen in cash. And there is a financial reason this matters. When you pay with cash, you feel the money leave. Literally. Your brain registers the loss differently than when you tap a card or click a button. Researchers call this the pain of paying, and it is significantly reduced with digital payments. Credit cards, buy now, pay later apps, and one-click checkout are all designed to make spending feel painless. And painless spending is exactly how the average American ends up with over $6,700 in credit card debt at 21% interest. Smart Sam uses cash for discretionary spending, groceries, dining, entertainment. He withdraws a set amount each week, and when it is gone, it is gone. No overdraft, no revolving balance, no interest charges. Broke Brian taps his card for everything and checks his balance once a month with the same energy as someone opening a letter from the IRS. This does not mean you need to go full cash only. But for categories where you tend to overspend, switching to physical money creates a friction that credit cards were specifically designed to eliminate. My mother still uses an envelope system she learned from her own mother. One envelope for groceries, one for transportation, one for household supplies, one for fun money. When the envelope is empty, that category is done for the month. No exceptions. No borrowing from next month's envelope. She has never carried a credit card balance in her life. Not once. And she raised 3 kids on a teacher's salary. Meanwhile, 61% of Americans with credit card debt have been carrying it for at least a year. 22% do not think they will ever pay it off. Ever. That is not a financial problem. That is a structural one. And the structure is designed to keep you swiping. Number 7. Tsukin Aruki. Tsukin Aruki means commute on foot. Or more broadly, it describes the Japanese habit of walking as a primary mode of transportation. The average Japanese person walks over 8,000 steps per day. In major cities like Tokyo and Osaka, the number is even higher because walking to and from train stations, navigating multi-level transit hubs, and running errands on foot is just how life works. Compare that to the average American. Most Americans drive everywhere, even for trips under a mile. Car ownership costs an average of over $12,000 per year when you factor in payments, insurance, gas, maintenance, parking, and depreciation. In Japan, millions of people get by with a train pass in their feet. Now, I am not going to pretend that ditching your car is realistic if you live in suburban Texas. American infrastructure was built around automobiles, but the principle still applies. Smart Sam walks to the grocery store that is 8 minutes away instead of driving. He takes public transit when available. He does not own a second car, just in case. Broke Brian has a car payment of $580 a month, pays another $200 in insurance, and drives 3 miles to a gym where he walks on a treadmill. Even replacing 2 or 3 car trips per week with walking saves gas, reduces wear on your vehicle, and, according to the research, adds years to your life. That is a savings habit that literally pays you back in time. When I lived in Tokyo, I did not own a car. Nobody I knew owned a car. My monthly transit pass cost about $80 and got me anywhere in the city. $80 versus $12,000 a year, the math is not even close. And I was in better shape than I have ever been because walking was just part of the daily routine. No gym membership required, no fitness tracker nagging me to move. Just life built around putting one foot in front of the other. The lesson for Americans is not sell your car. The lesson is question whether you need to drive everywhere. A lot of those short trips, the ones to the store, to the coffee shop, to a friend's place, could be walks. And every walk is free. If you are finding this useful, I actually built something to help you figure out which of these habits would have the biggest impact on your specific financial situation. There is a link in the description below. It takes you through a quick quiz, asks a few questions about your spending and goals, and tailors everything to your circumstances. It takes about 2 minutes and it is completely free to try. Now let us keep going. Number 8. Sentu culture and utility savings. In Japan, taking a short shower is not just a preference, it is a cultural norm. Japanese bathrooms are designed for efficiency. You wash outside the tub, rinse off, and then soak in a small amount of water that often gets shared by the whole family. Water is heated once, used multiple times. Beyond bathing habits, Japanese homes tend to be smaller, which means lower heating and cooling costs. Families use space heaters instead of central heating, warming only the room they are in. They use insulated curtains. They adjust with the seasons rather than blasting climate control year-round. The average American utility bill runs about $300 per month. That is $3,600 a year just to keep the lights on and the house comfortable. Japanese households average significantly less because frugality around utilities is not considered extreme. It is considered normal. Smart Sam heats only the rooms he uses, runs appliances during off-peak hours, and air dries his laundry on a rack instead of running the dryer. Broke Brian keeps the house at 72 degrees year-round, runs the dryer for every load, and leaves lights on in rooms nobody is in. Over a year, the difference is easily $600 to $800. Sentu, the Japanese public bathhouse, is another angle worth mentioning. For a few hundred yen, you get a hot soak, a steam room, and sometimes even a sauna. It is a social experience and a utility cost that you are sharing with your community, rather than bearing alone. The concept is beautifully simple. Why heat all that water just for yourself when a whole neighborhood can share the cost? There is also a seasonal discipline in Japanese homes that Americans rarely practice. In summer, many Japanese families use electric fans and open windows instead of cranking the air conditioning. In winter, they gather around a kotatsu, which is basically a heated table with a blanket over it, instead of heating the entire house. You warm the people, not the building. This might sound uncomfortable, but once you adjust your expectations, it feels completely normal. My grandparents never had central heating. They lived to their 90s. They were fine. They also had a utility bill that would make the average American cry with jealousy. Number 9. Jimi. Jimi translates roughly as plain, understated, or unpretentious. And in Japan, being Jimi is not an insult. It is a compliment. There is a saying in Japanese culture that the nail that sticks up gets hammered down. Flashy displays of wealth are considered tasteless. Nobody is going to be impressed if you roll up in a Lamborghini. They are going to assume you have poor judgment and probably a car payment that keeps you up at night. Compare that to American consumer culture, where status is basically a spending category. The average American spends over $1,700 a year on clothing alone. Luxury goods, designer sneakers, brand name everything. Not because these things are functionally better, but because they signal a lifestyle that often does not match the bank account behind it. Smart Sam wears clean, well-maintained basics. His wardrobe is small, versatile, and costs him maybe $300 a year. His net worth grows because his ego does not need to eat. Broke Brian finances a watch he cannot afford because he saw a finance influencer wear one on YouTube. The irony writes itself. The Japanese approach to status is essentially this: true wealth does not need to be seen. If you have to show people you have money, you probably do not have as much as you think. I once had a conversation with a retired Japanese businessman who was worth several $1 million. He drove a 12-year-old Toyota, wore a plain navy jacket. His watch was a Casio, not because he could not afford more, because spending money to impress strangers struck him as absurd. Why would I trade my savings for someone else's opinion, as he said. I have never forgotten that. In America, the pressure to signal success through consumption is relentless. Your car, your clothes, your neighborhood, your coffee order. Every purchase becomes a performance. And the audience does not even care. They are too busy performing their own consumption for you to notice. Number 10. Toshokan. Libraries in Japan are incredible, and I do not mean they are beautiful buildings, although some of them are. I mean they function as complete community resource centers. Japanese libraries lend books, manga, CDs, DVDs, and magazines. They have free study rooms, internet access, and newspaper archives. Some even have children's activity spaces and event programming. And they are free. Completely, totally free. The average American spends over $1,000 per year on books, streaming subscriptions, and digital media. Smart Sam uses the library for books, borrows audiobooks through the library app, and watches movies from the library DVD collection. His entertainment budget is almost nothing. Broke Brian has 7 streaming subscriptions, 2 audiobook memberships, buys hardcovers the week they come out, and still says he has nothing to watch. When I was growing up, my mother took me to the library every Saturday. I read everything: manga, science books, travel guides, cooking magazines. It shaped who I am, and it cost exactly $0. Libraries are the single most underused free resource in America. They are a wealth transfer from your community to you, funded by taxes you are already paying. Not using them is like paying for a gym membership and never going, except worse because the gym is free. Number 11. Recycuru Shoppu. Japan has turned secondhand shopping into an art form. Book Off sells used books, games, and media. Hard Off sells used electronics, instruments, and furniture. Mercury is a massive online marketplace for used goods, and none of this carries any social stigma. In America, thrift shopping has become trendy in certain circles, but for most people, buying used still feels like admitting something. In Japan, it just feels like common sense. Why would you pay full price for a book you were going to read once? Why buy a new guitar when a used one plays exactly the same notes? Smart Sam furnishes his apartment with a mix of new essentials and used finds. His coffee table is from a recycle shop. His bookshelf is secondhand. Nobody can tell the difference, and he saved a few $100s that went straight into his emergency fund. Broke Brian buys everything new because he deserves nice things, which is an interesting way to describe furniture that looks identical to the used version but costs 3 times as much. Japan also has this beautiful culture of caring for things so well that secondhand items often look almost new. Shoes are stored with shoe trees. Books are wrapped in protective covers. Electronics come with all original packaging and accessories. Buying secondhand in Japan is not a compromise. It is honestly a cheat code. The environmental angle matters too, but the financial case is strong enough on its own. You are not buying someone else's junk. You are buying something they maintained carefully and simply no longer need. Number 12. My Bagu. My Bagu means my bag, as in bring your own. In Japan, people carry reusable shopping bags, their own chopsticks, their own containers for takeout, and their own water bottles. This started as an environmental movement, but the financial side effects are significant. Every time you do not buy a plastic bag, that is a few cents saved. Every time you bring your own coffee instead of buying one, that is $5 saved. Every time you bring lunch from home in your own container instead of buying a disposable meal, that is $10 to $15 saved. Individually, these are tiny amounts. Nobody is retiring early because they saved 3 cents on a bag. But Japanese culture understands something that American culture often ignores. Small daily savings repeated over years create enormous results. If you save just $5 a day through a combination of bringing your own bag, your own drink, and your own lunch, that is over $1,800 a year. Over 10 years at 7% returns, that is over $25,000. Over 30 years, it is over $170,000. From a bag, a thermos, and a lunchbox. Broke Brian would call these savings insignificant. Smart Sam would call them the foundation of his entire financial future. And Smart Sam would be right. There is a Japanese concept embedded in this habit that goes deeper than just the math. It is the idea that your daily choices are not separate from your financial future. They are your financial future. Every small decision, every "it is only a few dollars," every "I will save next month" is a vote for the kind of life you are building. In Japan, people understand this instinctively. In America, we have been trained to ignore it by an economy that profits from our impulsiveness. Look, none of these 12 habits are exciting. None of them will get you followers on social media. You will never see a finance influencer filming a reel about the life-changing magic of buying marked-down chicken at 6:30 in the evening. But that is exactly the point. The Japanese approach to money is not about dramatic gestures or 30-day challenges or radical lifestyle overhauls. It is about embedding small, smart choices so deeply into your daily routine that saving money stops being a thing you do and starts being a thing that just happens.